like what you just said, we spend so much time wasting time, like as blue collar folks, we spend so much time wasting time that we don't even realize. Most of us don't even realize that there is another way to live out there in the first place. We don't even understand that there's people out here with private jets. There's people who don't even understand that you can even own a jet.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me. Not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build a game.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is D. Aaron Mack, and we're back in the lab once again at 4:40 a.m. But before we get started, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. How are we doing, Mac?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I can't complain about nothing. I won't complain about nothing. It ain't even worth it. So I got my head up high. I had a new perspective on a few things, but I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain about too much. The thing I want to complain about it's just nature. Nature seed is out here spreading fast as can be, and kilos on top of kilos. It's just in the air, and I'm going that would.
It's a lot better than it was 2 weeks ago, bro. You said something about it.
I mean, I didn't feel it like this until now. Like all of this is just stopped up. I can barely breathe. I'm like,
man, I went through that like
Lord.
a month ago.
I think it just took some time for it to kick in, or maybe the medicine. I don't know. I started taking the allergy medicine pretty heavy. I usually just pop it once in the morning or something, be fine. Now I'm popping like once in the morning, once at lunch, and I'm like, yo, this ain't.
I had a dude who told me that his allergy so bad this man has to get a steroid shot 2 times a week just to survive.
People out here doing most sometimes. I'm like, I got a coworker. He talking about like he takes like 4 Benadryls to the face. I'm like, ain't no way.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah. I'm surprised he's alive.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, one puts me down.
Yeah, that shit's like tranquilizer.
He talking about like he because he doesn't like headaches or something like that. He was like, he had woke up with a splitting headache one time, and he was just like, I gotta get rid of this pain. So he took everything imaginable, everything in the cabinet he just took. I'm like, sir, that's how you get rid of
shit.
That's how you get rid of, a headache. The last headache you will ever have. Yeah, sure.
That's some drug addict shit right there. Just start picking up a bunch of pills and shit.
But anyway. It
also says a lot about the person to not want to figure out what the actual problem is, but just mask it with medication.
He's been into like a whole lot of martial arts and sports and stuff. He got a couple of concussions, so that's what it's from.
So he got a CTE.
What that is?
Just look it up on Google, bro. I ain't got time for this.
Yes.
Nah, man. So recently, with all of the conversations that we've been having recently about growth and not growing and all all that other stuff like that, man. Um, I can't think of what actually prompted me to get to this realization. I was just having a conversation with Alyssa, and she was asking me was I riding this weekend, and I just thought about it. I'm like, yo, probably not. And she was like, why you say it like that? Like, what you mean? Because I'm in this little situation where I started my YouTube channel because I like riding, and also to justify buying the motorcycle that I wanted. Um, but now, there was also the renting of the motorcycles that was supposed to play into that as well. But um, I come to find out that just like it took Uber like 3 or 4 years, Uber and Lyft 3 or 4 years to catch up in this area. Won't nobody really doing it back in the day when it first started, and I was going to rent the bikes out, and now that's not happening the way I thought it was going to happen. So things are looking a little bit different because the money isn't coming in the way I thought it would be coming in. I thought it'd be a nice little side hustle, you know, get the bikes to pay for themselves. And I thought the YouTube channel would be popping off more than it actually is. Like all of these different factors, and this could be just a matter of perspective, but regardless of whatnot, like since I started this new job, I don't really have the time to get out there and be on the road like that, because like I gotta be a little bit more efficient with how I spend my hours, because I only got 2 days off a week.
Yeah.
So what that led me to think about, because I was just telling her like, yo, like I really just need to focus on what's important, and where the conversation led to was, and this is just how I feel about the situation in general. Where the conversation ended up leading to was, I'm not feeling it the way I once felt it, so I don't have the desire to move in that direction as much as I used to. Like I don't even have the inclination to do it right now. Like riding every day, at one point I would have been like all for it. I'm like, yo, hell yeah. Any opportunity I get, I'm gonna ride. I'm gonna be on two wheels, whatever the case is. But now I'm just like, I don't even feel like it.
Hmm.
So I just immediately lost the desire to do so. And what it led me to think about was this: corporate America, right? And being involved in corporate America, it puts you in a situation where you have to throw away what makes you happy in the long run for a short term gain in the name of stability.
Yeah.
But there have been people who are passionate about so many different things, but because they had to stop and put that to the side for so long just so they could chase a paycheck, it just snuff out your desires completely. Like I remember a time where music was my everything, bro. I mean my everything. Like you talking like there are artists out here who make there are artists out here who make like an album a year and call that working. Like they put in hard work because they got an album coming out once a year. Bro, I remember a time where I was in the studio literally every single day, day in, day out, making beats, recording lyrics, all type of stuff. But now, like I can't even remember a time where I even enjoy doing that anymore because I had to stop doing it for so long in order to chase corporate America.
I feel that. Yeah. It's it's insane because like that happens to everyone. Everyone that works a 9 to 5 had something in their life that brought them so much joy, but like they had to put it on hold. Some even had
Let's
to
start
just
ahead.
stop
Like,
it or
is there something that you used to do that you thought you were passionate about, or felt like in your heart of hearts that you were passionate about, but don't do anymore because you just didn't have the time to get around to it?
oh yeah, I got the whole laundry list. Like, bruh, I was trying to get into drawing. Got a little 200 prompt boy. I got the little keyboard thing I got for Christmas with the little drum pad on it. Like I'm looking into the screen I'm using for this. Got the little drawing pad. The what is it? Huiyin Hawaii? Well, no,
Leon.
Huion. The whole 9 yards, and like I can't find enough time to explore any of those apps or like if I do, it's probably like a quick second or something, the equivalent of a quick second to get up here to, even learn how to do something or learn the new tricks for whatever. I got music making programs, 3D making programs, the whole 9 yards, but like I can't dump all the time I want to in those things because I have to go to a job, get a paycheck, and pay some bills or something like that.
So what I after having that conversation with the lesser, and I was on my way to work, on my way to work, right? Um, I was just thinking about it, like, yo, when how much is it going to take for the cycle to end?
Mm,
It's like the last time I put my passion to the side to focus on being stable and having a stable job, I quit the passion. I threw it to the side. I literally just forgot about it. And it wasn't until I stumbled across a folder on my computer full of all of the old songs that I made.
mm,
I'm talking like, bro, I lie to you not, Mark. It's deep. Um, it's like at least 140 something songs, bro.
I feel
Like at least of just music that I made, like back when I was in my like coming into adulthood. You know, me and some of the guys that I went to school with, we taught ourselves how to make instrumentals. Like I can literally pull up FL Studios right now, produce a beat, like the ones that you guys hear on the intro every single week of the podcast. I produced that myself. Like I self taught, like, because I had a cousin who used to do it, and I used to watch him play around with FL Studios, and then he went crazy. So that ain't got nothing to do with the story. But regardless, like, I used to watch him do it, and then I started doing it, and then my homies taught themselves how to do it. We used to produce beats together, and then all of us were making songs back in the day. And I remember that when I was yeah, man. I think like my mid 20s, man. I right after my divorce, I got back into music, and I was like, "Yo, this is it. I'm doing music like that. Like I'm no longer letting anybody stop me from doing music." And then I started with Amazon, and I stopped doing music.
mm, I feel it. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because like everybody's story is I got this great idea. I, I got this idea for a product, service, whatever, but I gotta put it on hold or I gotta figure out how to fit it in my already packed schedule. I got this whole plate filled with, jobs, bills, home life. There's no room for my passion. There's no room for this great idea that I want to implement. And if there is room for it, it's gonna take years to get to. It's gonna take years to even get it off the ground. Like we don't make enough from the job to fund that idea or fund that service or fund that product that we're trying to get off the ground. If it is, we gotta save, we gotta penny pinch, we gotta draw up this whole 5 year plan to get to that. There's no quick access, or we don't know the quick access to these things. Like we can't just, I don't know, pull it up on a TV screen and just pick it out of the thing. We gotta do all this extra stuff, or like you said, the job takes from that. We get so complacent that like, what's the point of doing that? It's gonna take too long, so I'm gonna just work this job. This job is paying the bills. The job is giving me paycheck at the end of the week. I'm fine here. We settle.
Yeah, because it's not a I'm fine here. It's literally just you settling.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is right there. I'm just want to go ahead and say this. I just want everybody to remember that where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Mm.
Now, the problem with this episode is, this is a motivational self development podcast and all that other stuff. And like somebody may be looking at this like, yo, well, I'm not about to listen to you and you still in corporate America. And I'm gonna wait until you get it out of corporate America and you do it and you show me how it's done and all this other stuff like that. But regardless of what I say or what I do, it still has nothing to do with your life, right? So like the 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 right way to do it would be to figure out a way to quit my job and focus on how to be as efficient at producing my books and producing the Eighth of Universe as I was while I was at work. Like that would be the main focus, the main goal. That's how where I should be putting my focus at right now or this point in my life, because that's my writing the Eighth of Universe is a passion that hasn't gone away. So it's the only one that has stayed with me through everything, like through every job, through every whatever. Like we ain't even got to go there. But the problem with this episode is that even if I was to do that, it still ain't got nothing to do with your life and your situation. So like I could want to be successful at my job because for whatever reason, or we all, like everybody at my job, we all believe that we can be greater at what we do to make more and be more efficient at how we do it. So there's potential for growth in a few ways at my job. So I'm not like right now. I'm not ready to take that step off the ledge to do that. But regardless of where I'm at in my life, it still has nothing to do with your life because the 5 year plan that Marcus just said, it would have been crucial, hard to go through what you were supposed to go through. Absolutely insanity to do the thing that you did to focus on your goal or whatever it is that you want to do. But 5 years ago, had you done it, you would have been out of the swamp by now. So like regardless of what turmoil you had to go through, what chaos you had to ensue on your family in order to get to where you're supposed to be at. If you had started 5 years ago when you thought about it at first, you would be out of it by now. You would have figured it out by now. Like that's the thing about life. If you it doesn't, the right time to plant a tree isn't tomorrow, it's right now. The perfect opportunity to start on something is right now. Like th- I'm being impatient. I'm already working on something, but there's a lot of people out here who has ideas who ain't even moved on them yet. You don't even move on them in your spare time.
Yeah.
So
And
like, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say what kills me about that is like they people they'll complain. They'll like we said on last episode, they'll play the victim card. They'll do this, that, and third, and like they don't make that time. They don't push for it. Like you said, we say this countless times. We say the time we get on this podcast, every time we get on the podcast, you know, to let y'all know that we're putting in the effort. We're tired. We're sick, stuffed up,
Exhausted.
exhausted. You know, and some people aren't even willing to go through that alone, just pure exhaustion, trying to get out of the 9 to 5. People they want to be comfortable in the 9 to 5. They get off work, they have a couple of days off, they want to sleep all day. They want to sleep the entire day, the entire
Yeah.
2 days just wasted, and then they're back doing the same thing, complaining. I'm like, you haven't done nothing. You still at the same spot, and then complain about the same spot and don't do any work to move up, to move left, to get out the way. You just there.
Yeah, my biggest problem right now though is like I've been um I've been attempting to for the last few weeks actually. I've had issues with my computer, the one that I edit videos on. I'm not able to export. So like I can edit the joints, like I can do everything just fine. I can watch them in hit film, but for whatever reason, I cannot export. Like no matter what I try, I'm not able to export. I don't know if it's a component failure in my computer or like a software issue, but for whatever reason, I am not able to export. So it's been a little taxing on me, like weighing on my conscience because um I got stuff that I got to put out. Like I got a backlog right now of somewhere in the tune of about 30 videos that I promised my fan base on Iron Titan that I was going to post videos every single week. But right now I don't even have the ability to upload anything, and I haven't been for like 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't even had the opportunity to even look at the computer to even figure out why it's not up, why I can't export anything. Like, and that's what's prompted this whole thing, because I'm like, yo, like, is it even worth it to keep fighting that? Because the
Mm,
more I spend, like I already spent like, well, this week, last week I managed to get it to export, but this week is like whatever. um but I every single week, man, I'm going in there, I'm spending like 3-4 hours editing a video, and then spending like 2 or 3 hours after editing the video trying to figure out how to export the video. 7 hours that I could have been working, 7 to 8 hours where I could have been writing.
mm,
So it's like, yo, riding ain't been around that long.
mm.
But your writing has. So what are you gonna do?
So with I listened to Myron Golden, and it was this one video he talked about, like, how much is your time worth to you? You know, uh, a lot of times, and what probably prompted, this episode for is the time we spend in the 9 to 5. We had at the end of the day, we have nothing or
Nothing.
little to nothing time for ourselves. And he got to the point where, yes, he's successful, but he values his time so much that the airline, the inconvenience of an airline, you go to an airline, you have a delay, you have a layover, or stuff like that. He was like, yo, I don't feel like going through this. Like, my time is precious, so I'm gonna make a system, or I'm gonna figure out how to have a pilot, have my own private, airline, my own private jet, right? And he did all of that just because of what we would think is a small inconvenience. There's like a million people
Fuck no,
flying
all rich people.
daily.
There's a
Well,
whole fucking neighborhood with people who got hangars for garages. Like, dude, they all feel the same way. All
I
people who are
understand that.
successful, they Steve Harvey has a private jet.
Oh, for real.
ET looking for a private jet. Yeah, they all do it because it's an inconvenience to go to. It's like you just said, they all value their time so much that anything that takes them off their routine is problematic. Like, you can't stop, bro. Like, there are people who would do anything like a step less than capital murder to keep you from harming or stopping a celebrity who's on a scheduled timeline. Like, you can't go up and just alter anybody's like plan. Like, they got 5 minutes to get to where they supposed to go. Like, yo, they're like, you try to approach them, there's people who would mess you up big time.
Facts.
For trying to approach them and get them off their timeline, and they go into a private jet.
Yeah, that's regular folk. That's poor folk. Will go through every inconvenience. Will even do extra and waste time just to,
But
I don't know, save $1 or
to that point though, like what you just said, we spend so much time wasting time. Like, as blue collar folks, we spend so much time wasting time that we don't even realize. Most of us don't even realize that there is another way to live out there in the first place.
Yeah.
We don't even understand that there's people out here with private jets. There's people who don't even understand that you can even own a jet. Like, bro, buying an airplane, like, you would think that buying an airplane is like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, you like just billions of dollars. Like, you would think that buying an airplane is like really expensive, bro. It's not.
So they got
Couple
dealership
million.
for that too.
A couple million, right? The most that you're gonna pay is the pilot. It's like, you that's the most you're gonna do, like, and fuel, and probably renting space to store it. Like, those are gonna be your biggest expenses. Buying the airplane itself is not. Like, a private jet is only $12 million.
Granted, we say like we don't got it, but we're working to the point to
But
get
it's just a matter of your perspective, though.
Yeah.
Like, because some people would just say, just $12 million. Like, I saw, I'm all right. So I pride myself, and I apologize for that, because you're right, Mark. But I pride myself of being the rich guy that ain't rich yet.
I feel that.
Because my perspective of money is a lot different than some of the people that I come across. Like, I had somebody come into my shop yesterday, and they looked at a piece of equipment, and they asked how much it costs. I was like, oh, about 40,000. It's like, oh, that's a lot of money to you. If I could pay cash for this right now, I would buy it, because I know the value of it. I see its potential, and now I want one because some of my customers who didn't think it was too expensive, they bought one and they came back and told me about it. So that's your perspective, not mine.
Mm.
Oh, you must sell a lot. Nah, not really. I ain't sold that much yet. You want this one? We can finance it. They financed it, Mark.
Hey.
Oh, and by the way, I talked about the dude last week who he blew me out because of the he couldn't afford the financing for that bike.
Mm.
There's a kid who came in who's half his age, came in and dropped cash for the same exact motorcycle.
Mm.
I figured I'd throw that in there. I don't know if that wasn't even part of this conversation, but yeah, that happened. The kid came in and he was like, "Okay, yeah, how much is it?" He ain't argue about the price. He understood capitalism, for assembly fees, all that other stuff, taxes. He understood all that. It's like, oh, I'm not financing. Oh,
Okay.
right. You just got you stroking a check. He was like, mm-hmm. How much would it be for? I was like, but this price right here. He's like, okay. He ripped the check out of the book and gave it to me. I was like, hold off until you get the finance.
Okay. My man. That's
My
what's
man
up.
was, but my man was tripping because he couldn't get his credit right.
Mm.
This kid over here stroking the check for it. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like we we're not we're not saying that to, you know, to say who's better or who's worse. We're not saying it to flex. We're not, hyping the man up, but it's like the kid half this guy's age that comes in there and rips a check, for something he wants. Like Mike said before, this job isn't for like, a car or, something that people need. It's for wants. It's all luxury vehicles. There's a process to get there. There's steps this kid followed, or this kid was taught to get to that point. And he walked in there knowing, all right, I'm gonna spend a lot of money. The guy that went in there that's, twice his age, the older guy, he went in there probably thinking, I don't know how I'm gonna get this vehicle, but I'm gonna get it somehow. I'm gonna tell him my victim story. I'm a try to go in there with whatever credit. I want this item. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I want the item. So let's see what happens. And
Let's see what happens.
all that does is waste time. Like, I'm pretty sure that the younger guy, he was precise. He knew exactly what he needed. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he went for it. Old guy didn't know what he could do. Just all he did was want. Didn't know what he did. Didn't.
Let's calm down with the word old. That dude ain't that much older than me, so
Oh,
let's calm
oh.
down with that word.
You can say age. I ain't know. I ain't know. My bad. Um, but yeah, we it's human nature to want. It's human nature to want to feel good and get these things, but there's a process. There's a steps you have to do, things you have to learn, and it's not rocket science. It's not. None of these things that we're saying is rocket science. Mac just bought a new vehicle. Court just bought I don't even know how long she had the car, but she bought a new vehicle. It was time for it, so we went and got it. It won't know. Oh well, let's go in there. Let's see what we can get. We you know we knew exactly what we wanted. What she didn't. She kind of just wanted a car, but it won't. The point is that It's not that hard. It's not. And we make a mountain out of a molehill. We come up with problems. Sometimes we make the problem just by wanting something and not knowing the means to get it. Oh, I want this house. All right, I'm gonna go to the bank. I'm gonna, you know, take out a loan. I don't know how much money it is. I haven't done any calculations. I just need a house, so I'm gonna do what I need to do to get a house. And it ain't changed my mindset, ain't changed my work ethic. I'm still calling out of work. Every time the job offers VTO or a day off, I'm taking it. What type of lifestyle is that? What makes people think that they can be successful, even live a settling life? We don't even know how to settle properly. That's what kills me. Like you trying to settle, but yet you trying to live above the means of settling. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Then wrapping that back around, like back to the topic that we were having at first, man. Like I don't understand how some of y'all can, most of y'all, because this conversation is for a certain audience. I don't understand how most of y'all don't use that as motivation.
Mm.
Like for real, like I'll go through something like that, Mark, and I'll be like, man, I'm feeling some type of way.
Yeah,
And
it
I'll bring it to
sucks.
the podcast. I'll bring it to the podcast. I'll talk about it with some other folks, Mark, and they'll be like, "Yo, that's dark, bro. Like that's like you being negative right now." Like, no, bro, I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic.
Right.
Like I got standards. Why don't you have standards? like for real, like you should want to live a certain way. I got to where I am right now because I got standards. Like I oof, bro, somebody didn't understand recently that I was like, yo, I'm going out to buy a tractor and I'm just trying to figure out which one I'm getting. And it was like, yo, that's bro, nah, I ain't doing that, bro. I'd rather just go ahead and do my little push more joint. And I was like, how big is your yard? Bro, their yard was bigger than mine. They're like I got like a half an acre, maybe
Mm.
like close to close to 3/4 of an acre. And I'm just gonna keep pushing my little push more. And I'm like, bro, it take me like 2 hours to cut my grass, bro. How long did it take you to cut yours? Oh, about the same, close to 3. But I kind of walk fast, so it's all good. And I'm like,
What?
yo, if I had a tractor, it'll literally take me like
Minutes.
20 minutes to cut my grass versus the 2 hours that I had to spend on the weekends. And it's getting hot outside, so
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's getting hot outside, so like I don't really have the luxury to be spending a whole bunch of time out there. Like, yo, for real. Like I've had to cancel stuff because I had to go cut my grass, bro. Like it's not a game out here, bro. So I'm like, I'm going to do this because I get to save time. And they're like, but them joints cost too much though. You getting a brand new one? Yeah, bro. Man, them joints cost too much, bro. Like I'm like, yo, you don't even put a value on your own time, bro. But you get up and rush to work. How you get up and rush to work, but you don't put value on your own time? But you putting value on the time that somebody requires from you, but not the time that you demand from yourself.
It's insane. And I'm mad no one sees it like that. No one sees that, you got friends that live right around the corner, but you gotta darn near like make plans a year in advance They just up the road. You got to make plans a month in advance just to go see them.
You must be talking about that conversation from last night on Facebook.
Oh, I won't really talk about that, but that's
But
a prime example
since
of
we're on the topic,
that.
since we're on
Yeah,
the topic,
yeah. It
because we don't live far,
we
bro.
don't.
I promise you, there are rich people with way more going on than we got going on, and they
Mhm.
still make time to see each other. They got a lot more money, high dollar opportunities happening in their lives, and they are in each other's lives.
Yeah, and
One of the
people.
things,
Mm,
one of the things that sparked that thought to me though, Mark, Kevin Hart, Nina Dobrev, who else? Goddamn, it's a Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock, like a whole bunch of random people,
mm,
like literally like a group of like 20 celebrities that you would never think are actually friends, all go to Aspen every single year and rent a house for Christmas.
come on.
Every year for Christmas, bro. Like a bunch of random ass celebrities. And they have been doing it for years.
That's what I'm trying to be. That sound dope.
Exactly. Like and bro, I seen the house. The dude,
Mm,
Enos Yilmazar on YouTube, he does mansion tours and he toured the house and and Alyssa was like, I know where that is. She's like, I've seen that. Like we stayed when we visited there, we stayed like 30 minutes away from that joint, and we seen it when we went skiing one time. Like you can see it from the slopes. She was like, it's huge. So we looked at the video, and the dude started talking about all of the, like, he was like showing pictures of it. I'm like showing pictures of their like little parties or their escapades or whatever. And I guess I shouldn't say escapades. That make it sound like they had some freaky deaky stuff going on. Um
no
but
Diddy. No Diddy. Diddy was not
yeah, no,
involved.
yeah, no diddling was involved on that one, but yeah, like he was talking about the parties that the celebrities have in their house, and they rent it every year, and it costs them this X amount of money to do so. And I was like, yo, what an experience!
Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad a certain part of my family they try to do things like that. They try to experience things like that. I remember one Christmas we did do like a home away from home thing where it's kind of in that same ballpark where you pay a certain amount of money and you basically have this entire lavish house. It had like a downstairs little area that was like a whole separate thing. It had a the back of it, you go down the steps and it's like a whole little creek or pond or whatever it was. I forgot what it was, but it was like
We were
water.
just talking about an Airbnb.
Basically.
The house that I was talking about is on Airbnb too.
Oh really?
Yeah, we looked it up.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit before Airbnb started. How old is Airbnb?
Oh,
Really?
older than you think it is. Yeah.
Hmm. But anyway, like I'm saying, these things are obtainable. Like it don't take nothing to get a group of friends, put some money together, a group of successful friends, put some money together, and just have a joyous experience. We don't put a price tag on the experiences we could have or want to have. When we want to experience something, it's like, all right, how many hours do I have to spend at the job to get there? If I want to take my family somewhere, all right, let me crunch the numbers, which actually means how many hours of my time do I have to exchange for this sliver of enjoyment.
Do I have any sick days?
Bruh, don't even get, bruh. People over here, bargaining sick days as like poker chips, like high value poker chips. And it's like we won't even use sick days for what they're used for. They basically should be like time off. Like don't even call it sick days because
Don't even call it sick days.
when's the last time someone actually used a sick day for them actually being sick? People will come into work while they're sick and work the out. Like
Yeah, that's real. Like they'll come in while they sick, and then use their sick days to take vacation.
you know how we know? Because I done it.
I've done it.
Sick as a dog, fever and all. I'm sitting there at work, walking 10 miles plus, body overheating, trying to shut down. I'm like, I'm here. Gotta make this money. Gotta exchange my time for some dollar bills so I can pay what I need to. So
That's one thing I'm not missing about being in somewhere like Amazon. I don't get the people who say I'm here, got to make this money. That hourly man mentality. I don't miss that at all. Like I don't miss coming across those people who ain't doing absolute jack crap with their life, and they come into their job and say, "Got to make this money. I'm here," and then turn around and not want to do their job because they don't feel like it. Like I don't miss that at all. At where I'm at now, everybody's salary, so it's like, bro, time is money. Like, yo, let's
come on,
get
yeah,
moving, bro. Like
yeah,
we spending way too much time on conversation that have absolutely nothing to do with the bottom line. Let's do some money making activity. Like everybody is on that here. So it's a huge difference from where I came from, man. But it's still a job, man. Like it is what it is.
yeah. You can tell a hourly man from a salary man. It's not that hard, and I feel like a salary man is, you know, they're a little bit closer to that lifestyle that we're trying to hammer into you guys, uh, because they value time. Their time has a already set payment, and then if they want any extra, is that's correct. If they want any extra, they have to make sure that they get that sale or they get that production value, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing applies to you guys' life. Like you know your worth, you know what you can do, you can sit down and hammer out uh how many pages for your book an hour. uh I know how much time it takes for me to make a model of a character. People know how much time it takes to make that album or a beat or whatever, but we don't apply that. We don't go up to somebody and make them an offer, be like, look, I can make you these beats for whatever, and start a business like that. We'd rather go to a job and be like, all right, I'm here for 10 hours. I got to make my 40 hours. Job is required 40 hours. I'm here for 40 hours. I get a paycheck at the end of the week or every 2 weeks, and we settle there. We don't see that large amount that we can make making offers. We don't see that lifestyle shift of how much free time I can make from one offer. I could probably make, I don't know, twice my paycheck or a whole month's salary for one offer that I can do in this little time. We don't see that. We don't try to do that. We don't learn how to do things like that.
I pretty much told Alyssa that I realized something yesterday. I made a sale that should have been almost impossible to make.
Come on.
Should have, like, there was so much resistance in the process of this negotiation. So much resistance. And my dude, he only came in there for an oil change. Yeah, like he only walked in there for an oil change, and I saw him, and I just saw this look in his eye, and I read the whole situation from the ground up, like correctly, like, and there was no point where I was like, this guy's gonna walk, bro. We walked through the whole situation, and by the time I got to the close, like, I realized, like, yo, you are a closer. Like, this is what you caught on to this. Like, maybe the building relationship part, you're not really that good at. But bro, you are a closer. Like, I was listening to myself. I was saying things that I was like, and it was just stuff that I learned. And folks be like, yo, I don't feel comfortable saying that. Like, I don't feel comfortable going in for the kill like that. I'm like, yo, ask for the check. My man said, yo, I got, you gave me a lot to think about. I was like, yo, do me a favor. Cause you gonna leave here today. I'm gonna give you my card, right? I'm gonna hand it to you right now. Introduce myself. My name's AJ. Um, I'm you probably gonna leave here and you gonna think about it somewhere else, right? You gonna think about it everywhere but where you supposed to be thinking about it at, right? You gonna think about it at home. You gonna think about it on the ride to work. You gonna think about it at work. You gonna talk about it with somebody else. You gonna do this. You gonna do that. And by a week from now, you ain't gonna be thinking about us. Then you gonna think about it again while you at another dealership, and then you gonna buy from them. I'm like, do me a favor. Tell me what you gotta go think about, like right now. What are you thinking about? And next thing I know, my man he was mad because he was buying a new motorcycle. So I was like, look, Mac, whatever you do, like, I don't care how much it takes to, and I told Alyssa the same thing. I'm like, look, you at home, I'm gonna need you to work on getting me into the position where I can do that for the books. Like, I don't care how many times it takes. Like, even if it's just one person, I gotta do a presentation for one person. Like, once the books are done and they ready to go, like, that's where we need to be at. Like, I need to be in front of people doing that on multiple scales. I'm talking interviews, podcasts, like whatever the case is, blog posts, like wherever you can leverage me. Put me in the position so I can keep doing that. Put me in the position that I can keep closing, because what I know is going to end up happening is that I'm gonna get that time back so I can ride my bike. I'm gonna get that time back where I can focus on the things that I want to focus on. There's been so many opportunities where I wanted to get back in music. So many opportunities. But, time, even though it heals all wounds, time also washes things out. Time also separates us from our greatness, but only when we're not focusing on our greatness. I haven't been focusing on music for years, but there was one time where I said music is my passion and I'll never get rid of it. But right now, I'm in this mindset where I'm like, yo, go out and kill it. Hunt everything that you're supposed to hunt and put yourself in position. Leverage your skill. Your skill might, books are good. They're phenomenal. Like, there will be some people one day that tell you that I didn't even need to rewrite the Gem State Siege or start over the series. There are going to be some people who tell you that, but books are good. But I'm a phenomenal closer. Like, I've worked on that for a long time. I've worked on that, and I didn't even know I needed to work on that. But now that I'm in the position where I have to close on a daily basis, here we are.
Yeah. Y'all just got to get to a point where you perceive your time as the most valuable thing you can possibly imagine. Like Max said, like he wants to hunt everything that he wants to hunt. Like, and that's all it is, changing the perspective of how you want the things you want. Like, I want to draw, I want to make video games, I want to make the music in my video games, I want to be in charge of all that. I want to do so much. I want to do these things, and the only way to do them, to have the time to do them, is to leverage what I already have in this space right here and just do it. Like, it doesn't take the latest and greatest equipment. It doesn't take, doesn't take much to just be in your passion, to be in your talents, and to do them. But you have to get through that first hurdle of believing you can. You have to know that you can do that. Because if you
Yeah.
don't, you just gonna settle in that 9 to 5. You're gonna be like, oh, this is too hard, or I don't have the time to do this, or this laundry list of excuses that you could say, and you're gonna settle right back in the 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 is the easiest thing to do. It doesn't take much to do the 9 to 5. Even the job I have, where you can literally blow something up. Luckily, my department doesn't. We don't do anything with gas or power. But like, I can literally go there, still shut my brain off, and just do the work that's in front of me. It doesn't take much. Half the time, I don't even have to do anything. Literally, just kind of ride around, make sure people don't mess something up. That's about it. But I say that because it's gonna be a giant leap of faith to get to where you want to have that lifestyle, to where you can wake up in the morning and be like, I want to visit my friends. I'm gonna visit my friends all day. I'm gonna talk to them. We can go out to eat. We're gonna have dinner. We ain't gonna worry about the bill. We ain't gonna worry about who's paying. It don't even matter. I just feel like hanging out with my friends today. I just feel good today. I'm gonna treat my friends to breakfast, to lunch, whatever. We can't even do that. Half the time, people got nasty attitudes because that's free. that's the default for their life. To just have an nasty attitude, complain about everything, and just be this bitter person.
Yeah, man. All right. So last thing, man. It's coming up on that time, and I gotta go, bro.
I got you.
But so it's gonna take a new you to get to where your new destination is. It's going to take a new you. And I realized that it never took 7 years for me to grow into a new person. They say cells die every 7 years and recreate themselves. And at 7 years, you are a completely new you than you were 7 years ago.
Physically.
So I say that to say this, right? As we discuss the need to quit your job or to move into a new direction. You'll hear it a lot. Like no matter where you turn, you're going to hear somebody say something about you quitting your job, or you doing better for yourself, or whatever the case is, or the lifestyle that you want to live. Like, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about that. But here's the thing. It's all talk unless you implement some kind of action. So right now, I could talk a big game about quitting my job, but if I never have a strategy for getting out of my job, then there's nothing to go off of. And we talk about this rise to success and finding success for yourself. Remember that success doesn't happen just because you're doing stuff. Nobody gets lucky. I don't know if the stuff that I've been able to achieve right now, the updated credit score, the vehicles that I have, the house that I have, I don't know if any of that is attributed to luck as much as it is attributed to work, hard work at that. Because there have been some times where I cried for the stuff I have right now, and I didn't even need to. I didn't even need some of the stuff that I have, and there's been times where I cried for some of the things that I have, right? So like it's all about being intentional and deliberate about how you move and how you spend your time. That was the whole purpose of me having this conversation with you guys, not because I wanted to just complain about the fact that I'm working a job, but I wanted to paint the picture of what it's going to take, the mindset and the mentality that is going to take in order to move to your next level. So next level, what does that look like? Right? You're gonna have to strategize on whatever it is that you're doing. I don't care if you trying to open up a food truck, you trying to do whatever. I don't know. Like there's always a strategy that needs to take place in order to get to where you're going. It's not going to just happen out of osmosis just because you're putting yourself in the environment. People don't get called up to do things no more. You're gonna have to call yourself up. You're gonna pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You're gonna have to get to the destination. Therefore, when you get to the destination, somebody is going to see that you have worked towards the destination, and then they can pull you up once you get there. But where you at right now, in the slums, in the trenches, ain't nobody looking down there. You're going to have to pull yourself out. That's why it's going to take strategy to move yourself forward. It's going to take strategy to move from where you are now to get to where you are going. And the hardest thing about all of this, y'all, the hardest thing, I promise you, listen to me when I say this, the hardest thing is not knowing that your strategy is working, but continuously going with that strategy. But at the end of the day, every celebrity, every success guru, every wannabe coach online is going to tell you that your strategy is important, and you have to follow that blueprint in order to make it to your success. But to that note, I've also been told to follow the small wins. If you can see some success happening, it might not be the success that you want from the thing that you're doing, but if you're making some kind of success happen because of it, whether it's you know 300 some episodes of your podcast, or I don't know, we had 300 yet. Whether it's finally getting a book cover done, or finally getting somebody, a subscriber to your mailing list, making a new connection in a new space where you're supposed to be at, one that's closer to your destination, whether it's making $5 off of what you do, your strategy is working. So follow your strategy and scale your strategy. If you made $5, then make $5 again. And then make $5 over and over and over again until you get to where you're trying to get to. Once you get to a certain level, somebody gonna see your strategy and they're gonna raise your strategy one.
Get out there, people. Hunt the things you want. That's all it is to it. Go for the things you want, and life will open up for the better. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It's me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. And before we go, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. And always remember that those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. We love y'all.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.